Yo, it kind of broke the internet. Yo, that might have been like your third time this year. Yeah. Did you expect this kind of attention from a sparring session?
I already knew it was gonna go crazy. You know, once we posted the pic, I'm like, yo, this junk gonna go everywhere. We kind of like figured it, and you know, it kind of, I guess you could say it made the.
Jaron Ennis has been making the headlines lately for controversial reasons, and things only got worse when he interrupted the first press meeting between Canelo Alvarez and Crawford. On the first day of fight week, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford met for some media duties at Bellagio Fountains, alongside Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh. The fighters were quite peaceful, as they had another face-off. However, Jaron Ennis accompanied Canelo, and when they were almost done, he came around.
We are ready here in Vegas, ready for Saturday, September 13th. Thanks. We are season and Turki Al-Sheikh. You ready?
And while there were no comments from any of the fighters, members of Crawford's team called him names and accused him of being a traitor, forcing Ennis to almost pick up a fight with them. Several times, he was held back as he tried attacking some of Crawford's team members. And once the altercation broke out, the media work didn't continue for too long, as it was almost over. Jaron Ennis has been under fire for picking Canelo over Crawford in this fight. And despite comments from many boxing professionals, here's what he had to say.
We got a couple more days and y'all gonna see Canelo fighting Crawford. So I ain't got no comment on who gonna win the fight, you dig? If Crawford do what he's supposed to do, he got an option. If he don't beat Canelo. Simple as that.
When asked how the experience was for him, as his training camp with Canelo was his second time training outside of Philadelphia. Just having fun, being in there with Canelo. Canelo got 67 fights, so it was just cool, being in there, sharing the ring with him. I love that I experienced that, getting away, sparring Canelo, fishing, just having fun with my brother and things like that. I'm moving up in weight, and I wanted to experience something different. I loved it out there. On if he enjoyed his time in training camp, he responded, "Why not? If you're able to share the ring with Canelo, a Hall of Famer, a legend, and kind of like the face of boxing. The sparring was great. I had a great time. I loved being in there with Canelo."
A guy of that caliber?
Yeah, why not? You know, why not you be able to share the ring with, you know, with Canelo, and like I said, you know, being there with a Hall of Famer, a legend, and the face of, kind of like the face of boxing, you know, why not? You know.
Speaking about how his sparring sessions with Canelo went viral and how many boxing fans perceived the issue, he said, "I already knew it was going to go crazy. Once we posted the picture, I'm like, this is going to go everywhere. You could say it makes the fight more interesting. Everyone will try to tune in a little bit more. I really don't care about the backlash. I ain't gonna lie, I went out there for myself to start my first 2 weeks in camp, with elevation and all. This was for me, not for anybody else," he added.
I think Crawford's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
He says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
World champion in Ennis, and like I said
and
before, iron
will.
sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side... It was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into such a big fight?
Obviously.
Legendary boxing analyst Teddy Atlas, however, believes the decision to involve Jaron "Boots" Ennis could backfire for the Mexican. Atlas thinks fighting against a guy like Ennis could wear Alvarez out heading into September 13th.
He's not me.
Yeah.
You know, as much as a lot of people, you know, say we have similarities and, you know, we switch a lot and we fight a lot. He's not me, you know, and I'm not him. So.
Yeah. Tim had said comparison that like he's like a Chrysler 300 and you're.
Preparations are currently in full swing on both sides, but this particular spotlight on Alvarez's camp is because he has been sparring with Jaron "Boots" Ennis. Canelo's decision to do so is simply to get him training with an elite boxer so that he's fully ready to face Crawford. But not everyone is in love with the move.
And now, I think Boots brought the best out of Canelo. I don't know how many rounds they may have sparred, if it's true. But if it is true, I'm assuming that Boots may have brought the best out of Canelo Alvarez in that sparring. showed him different looks, the switch hitting. I'm pretty sure they probably wanted Boots to, emulate Crawford or just to be who he is.
I don't want him to leave it in the gym. I don't want him to get into that kind of war in the gym. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who has been in 65 fights. I would pick spots for Canelo with 1 or 2 days to amp him up, but it would only be spots with someone that sharp. Atlas is concerned about Alvarez's age catching up to him. Crawford is actually older, but Canelo has more tread on his tires. Sparring with Ennis is only adding more rounds to his body. It will be interesting to see if Alvarez shows any signs of fatigue on fight night.
Highly, put it this way, I'll get right to the point. I wouldn't want wars with my guy who's been in 65 fights or 60 whatever, and is at that, 34 years old and getting
never. Always. This is crazy, Chester.
I just didn't want to see
Chester.
I didn't want to see
Chester. You got a Team Crawford shirt on, hoodie on, but you going against me? You going against me? What'd he say, Red?
I said don't get scared.
No. What'd he say?
He said you just want to see him lose.
Thank you.
A former opponent of Canelo, Liverpool veteran Liam Smith took on the challenger in a memorable 2016 showdown with the Brits WBO light middleweight crown on the line. And paired with the knowledge of his prior loss to the champion, as well as the inclusion of International Boxing Federation, World Boxing Association, and the ring welterweight champion Jaron Ennis into his camp, Smith believes Canelo is serious about Crawford.
Onto that, knows better, and has seen what he's done to other opponents, but he might not. He might be overconfident, and he might think what I thought, and now I'll be able to easily run over the top of this guy with my size, and yeah.
How did his strength feel? You were saying that you were the bigger guy. Like, how was his power?
I think it shows Canelo's take on the fight with Crawford if he's getting Boots Ennis into sparring. Boots Ennis is a great fighter, so he's taking it seriously, Smith told Seconds Out. Offering a definitive prediction, Smith suggested Canelo would defeat Crawford, likely in a late stoppage victory or a decision triumph.
It shows you Canelo's, take on the fight. He's getting Boots Ennis into spar. Boots Ennis is a great fighter, so he's taking it serious.
And who would you say would you have for that fight? Crawford? Like KO or?
Maybe late stoppage or points, yeah.
Of course. Liam, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Canelo, Smith said when asked for his pick. Maybe by a late stoppage or on points, yeah, Canelo. And with his pick of Canelo to potentially defeat Crawford with a late knockout win, Liverpool star Smith is joining an ever-growing list siding with the Jalisco megastar. Speaking to YSM Sports Media a while ago, IBF welterweight world champion Jaron Boots Ennis couldn't pick a winner in the bout. It's a good fight, a 50-50 fight, and I guess it's a fight that everybody wants to see.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo, because like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure.
He has since changed his mind and now leans towards Alvarez, telling Fight Hub TV that Crawford's jump up to super middleweight to face the division's best with no fight in the interim is a mistake. I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo, because like I said before, he's been putting big guys out, and Canelo's not even really a 168 pounder. He probably really should be at 160 maybe, and he's been hurting these guys.
Probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it, so so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight. At like 60, or like at least at 60, just to get his body, to fill into somebody a little bit bigger.
I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight at like 160, just to get the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you got to develop, put the muscle on. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build right now, but I think he should just stay sharp, and that way he doesn't have a long layoff. One of those believers is Jaron Ennis' father, Bozy Ennis, who recently shared his thoughts on how the fight might play out, and he's backing Crawford to frustrate Canelo. "I'm leaning towards Terence," Ennis said. Why? Remember this though, Terence and Boots are almost similar when it comes to the weight. Boots gets up big, but I have seen Boots get up to a weight where he can handle those big guys and stop them and knock them out in sparring. So I think that's a beautiful weight for Terence. He's going up to 168. I think he can handle it. Ennis believes the size jump won't be as much of a disadvantage for Crawford as many fans think, especially given how fighters like Boots have managed similar jumps in training. Ennis then went on to praise Terence Crawford's intelligence and efficiency in the ring. The thing about Terence, people don't understand. He can box and he's smart, he said.
Running.
Same like a...
You told me that Terence Crawford and Canelo was a 50-50 fight. You told me Terence Crawford had a chance.
Right.
Me, I was leaning towards Canelo because of the size.
Right.
I want to apologize.
Yeah.
Because after watching that fight, I see what you were talking about.
Yeah, I'll tell you, yeah. Movement. That movement all sets everybody, man. And what would have... With Canelo, he get frustrated. You see, he's walking to you and all that. If he can't touch you, you know what I mean? That's it.
He doesn't waste any punches and is really smart when it comes to the boxing game. If it was me training him, I'd have him frustrate Canelo. What I'd do with him, I'd hit him with some good combination shots. Canelo got to be set to throw punches. If Crawford boxes and moves, he doesn't like anybody boxing and moving. That's what I think Crawford is going to do. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.